Ola has taught us quite a lot if you've been here. Managing your expectation, emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions. Back in the day, if I'm doing this show, the way I will come for that freeze.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gossip, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty. What's worth of a lady? It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the pen station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP, my wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. If you touch as a breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'm gonna go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause
girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and catch her, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right. Welcome back. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, welcome back. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. This is Men of Prestige. Over here, we talk about relationships. We talk about power, self, social, emotional, seduction, attraction, intelligence. We talk about these things here, particularly from a standpoint of power. What kind of power do you have? What kind of influence do you have? That's what we talk about here. And if you haven't downloaded the book yet, I need to order some books because I gave the books that I had here away during the last weekend at Pastor K's event. But yes, if you haven't gotten the book yet, you can download it for free at loveandprestige.com. By the way, there is a book called Love and Prestige in the pipeline. We will be working on that shortly. Okay, we got a few books in the pipeline, but welcome. If you're not part of the notification gang yet, you can join us. When I do actually go live, you can be notified by WhatsApp. Just go to lolanola.com/WhatsApp, or you can send a text message, WhatsApp text message only, to 732-305-8577 +1 country code. All right, so what are we talking about today? We have to talk about what you may call it. We have to talk about red flag today. Red flag. Okay, we have to talk about red flag today. We're gonna be straight to the point. Today is a masterclass, but this is a very, very important masterclass that you need to make sure you watch every second over here. Not only that, I would suggest that you watch this up to 3 times. Okay, at least 3 times. All right, but I want to say, hey, welcome, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Yeah, so like I said, today we're talking about red flag. The red flag, the one red flag you have to avoid. Okay, with that being said, let me just grab a quick sip of water and I will be right back. All right, great. So shout out to all of you in the chat, but shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate you. But let me do some quick shout out to all the channel sponsors. Shout out to the channel sponsors: Richie, Chirio Moaka, Life with Natu, Adesu Aldirin, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Show Mama, Gorex Corner, and my G D Love. Shout out to all of you, and shout out to all the regulars. Chinye, shout out to Auntie B, shout out to every one of you that you stop by all the time, the Adibu Solas, every one of you, if you're in the chat right now. So this is pre-recorded, so but I will shout you out later. I just want you to engage me in the comment, because I might just be in the comment chatting with you But right about the time that this goes live, I'm also driving. So, but shout out to you. I appreciate you. Today we're talking about red flag. Red flag. Let's get into it. Red flag, the one non-negotiable red flag when it comes to choosing a partner, a romantic partner to be precise. Okay, the one non-negotiable red flag. Okay, very, very important lesson that I want to make sure that we cover here. All right, so finding a compatible and fulfilling romantic partner is a journey that involves recognizing the qualities we desire in a relationship, but it also makes sense when people have been hurt to want to learn all the red flags to avoid, okay, in order to protect their heart. I completely get it, okay? While that makes sense, okay, in a weird, twisted way, okay, it actually has its way of making you hurt yourself by putting all your focus in that direction, okay? It has its ways of creating the experience that you're actually trying to avoid. Okay, so in real life, you will actually create what you fear the most, directly or at least indirectly. This is just how life works. Okay, so it makes sense. It makes sense to to be looking for red flag but the law of attraction kind of makes that work against you. Okay, what is the law of attraction? It teaches us that what we focus on expands, right? It teaches us that our energy plays a significant role in what we attract, in the kind of people we attract, in the kind of energy that becomes comfortable around us, right? So law of attraction, your energies, we have to put that into equation here. Okay. So it's very important that you pay attention to that when we're dealing with the idea of red flags. Very, very important. Okay. Now, there are multitudes of green flags, okay, many of them, okay, like the kind of qualities that you're looking for. But there is one particular red flag that today I'm going to spend some time to highlight for you. So you want to, like I said, make sure you watch this all the way to the end and watch it a few more times, okay? When you're looking for a romantic partner, there are a lot of things to consider. You want someone who is attractive, somebody who is intelligent, you want somebody with similar interests, right? These are bare-based minimum. Like anything short of this, when people say settle down is a reality of all of us, but settle for is something I would be very, very careful, especially when it comes to these three things. You find them attractive. Just because you find them attractive doesn't mean I find them attractive, but you need to find them attractive. That's just the reality of the world we live in. Intelligent, you need to find them intelligent. I don't have to find them intelligent. You just need to be intrigued by this person's intellectual capabilities. It might be, to me, not so much, but to you, it needs to be there because it stimulates you, right? And then obviously similar interests, which again is subjective in nature. That's the open of what I'm saying. But beyond those superficial qualities, there are some key green flags, okay? Some key green flags that you should look out for. And today, I'm not just going to show you the one red flag. I'm going to show you 11 green flags, okay? And particularly what I need you to focus on, the 11 green flags, okay? Is that fair? I know you came in for the red flag, all that, but let me get through the 11 green flags and I'll share with you the one red flag. It will make sense. All of the one red flag will make better sense when you understand these green flags. Okay. Supportive. You need a partner who encourages and uplifts your aspiration, not directly. Like, for example, on a first date, how do you figure that out, right? How do you figure this thing? Some of these things I'm going to share with you, you're going to pick them up. And I don't want you to be overthinking, especially if you're on a first date or you're getting to know a person. I don't want you to be overthinking them. When you do, after leaving them for a while, right? Hopefully for a while, right? Hopefully you're not ghosted yet. After leaving them for a while, I want, it's something you detect after you're reflecting, okay? You don't go there looking for it, right? But when you reflect, you're like, wow, it seems like a supportive person, right? She seems like an extremely supportive person. Okay, so the earlier it is, it's hard to detect if they're actually supportive of your goals. But oftentimes, what they're going to become is reflected in how they talk, the way they carry themselves, the kind of vibe you feel from them. Okay, so in the future, in the nearest future, a good partner will cheer you up, right? They support the kind of dreams you want to support. Your dreams. They support the dreams you want to pursue, right? The prerequisites, at least they show that they would, even if somewhere in the future there may be friction. In reality, later on there will be some kind of friction, maybe because it interjects, make them feel unsafe, maybe makes them feel like it's derailing from the family goals altogether. But the prerequisite is that you need to kind of feel like they will be supportive, at least from the beginning. That person needs to be sort of your cheerleader, your biggest fan. You kind of need to sense that vibe from them. Okay, because why? Because to make you feel motivated. So that's the first green flag. Supportive, a person that makes you feel like they are supportive or they will be supportive, is the vibe you'll get, that you remember from them even when you're away from them. It's not stuff you're looking for. Keep in mind, I don't want you going into a situation that you're just getting to know a person and you're now looking for it. That would disengage you from the experience, right? It's something that when you reflect back, when you reflect back, you're able to, that seems like an extremely supportive person, right? Number 2, emotional intelligence. We can't stress this enough, okay? Particularly a student of emotional intelligence, okay? In this case, we're not talking about a person that says I'm emotional intelligent, okay? In reality, I actually think there's no such thing. I do think we can be students of emotional intelligence. There's no end to it because emotions are a moving target. Okay, so if you have a person who is not prepared to remain a lifetime student of that spells out pride, and that's not a good thing, obviously. So if a person comes off as emotionally intelligent to you, that is a green flag. Okay, they exude the ability to recognize, understand, and respond empathetically to emotions, right? It doesn't mean they move by emotions, because a lot of people conflict that. So you're trying to say emotions? Like, no. We're not talking about people that move with their emotions or lead with their emotions. We're talking about people that are aware that oftentimes they will be controlled by their emotions. Other people they're interacting with will be controlled by emotions, and our society at large is driven by people's emotions. When a person is coming into your life in a romantic way and they're kind of they seem to understand that, they don't have to use it in words. By the way, if they're using it in words and phrases while you're on a date with them, that's not the green flag I'm talking about. I'm talking about they actually demonstrate it, right? You can feel it in your conversations, in the way they move around you, in the way they are considerate, in the way they engage conversations with you. To be a man or a woman, doesn't matter, right? If they demonstrate emotional intelligence in some way, shape, or form, that is a green flag. All right, let's go to number 3. We're going to 11. We have about 11. Individuality. Okay, when I talk about individuality, I'm not talking about a selfish person. I'm talking about the intelligence of individuality, right? There are times that you need to be an individual. There are times that you need to respect that other people are leaning on you, that you are in fact influential in other people's life, in other people's presence, right? If a person moves like they understand that, right, that is a green flag. Okay, when a person seems like they're able to value your uniqueness in conversation, they appreciate that you're not the same as them. They also, in the same breath, they can appreciate that you lean on each other, you have similar interests, does not mean you're not unique in your own ways. If they can appreciate that, they can appreciate independence. They seem that they understand independence. A person that's not coming off as needy, right? Either in speech or in action. That person, if you see that in a person that's also busy, they're not blowing up your phone randomly, willy-nilly. In fact, when they do call it, they're able to say, hey, this is a good time, right? A person that says this is a good time when they call you, that's a person that's aware that you have things going on, right? That right there is a green flag. Okay, if a person comes up that way, that's a person that's self-containable, a self-sustainable person, and that person will be a good asset addition to your own life. That is a green flag. Okay, but again, we're gonna have more opportunity to expand on this. Okay, so in fact, that's what we're working on right now. Number 4, mature. A person who is mature. Maturity means so many things, right? It can mean age, but that's the least of it, because there are people that are older and they get less mature the older they get. That's not what we're talking about, right? But we do understand that age is a part of it, right? So obviously 18, 19-year-old person, that they have a lot, they have no experience, right? They have no experience of adulthood. So but matured in terms of how they move, right? Mature particularly in terms of how they handle friction, right? It could be the first date. We're having a conversation. There's a small disagreement, not argument, disagreement. A person who is mature enough to say, that's an interesting take. I disagree with that. A person that can say that, right? It goes back to the individuality also section, right? A person that have their own backbone, right? That is a green flag. That's a person that will support you when you're in your weakest, because that will happen. Okay? But particularly in handling of disagreements, handling of conflict, a person that's matured when it comes to resolving conflict, right? And they start to showcase it in how they do a dance with you back and forth in a simple conversation on the first date, on the second date, at a joint event where you meet them, right? Where you're in a group setting, right? This person, a person that can manage that kind of dance between you and them in a way that's not manipulative, that's not controlling, that's not forceful in trying to get you to become congruent with them, that is a green flag. Okay? If you reflect back on the first, second, third date or a group event and you remember this about this person, that is a green flag. Okay? Again, we will have opportunity to expand more on that as time goes on. The next one here, we're talking about green flags right now. Okay, I want to show you 11 green flags, and the 12th flag I'm going to show you is the red flag, and it will make everything I've just said, all the first 11, to make them make sense. Okay, it won't make sense if we don't do it that way. The red flag would not make sense to you. Okay, we have a lot of people studying red flags from a projection standpoint. They project on each other and then they continue to recreate even more red flags. So let's leave that to the end. Let's talk about the green flags. The 5th green flag is priority awareness. What do I mean by this? In life, we're often presented with multiple options at the same time. What does that mean? In life, you have to make decisions, sometimes very tough decisions. Okay, very tough decisions, and you have to make these decisions off of limited information. There's only so much you're going to know about life. In other words, having to practice faith and trust is the default. It's inevitable. It's the only way out. In fact, that's the only way to have a good life experience. Okay, so it's difficult. Like, sometimes you have to prioritize one thing before the other, right? And sometimes you have to agree to disagree with other people. Sometimes you have to navigate your way into agreement with another person in a romantic setting, within a romantic context, right? So a person who is priority aware, a person who understands this about life, a person who understands that they can't have it all. There's no such thing as having it all, right? There is, but it's with respect to knowing that there is no such thing. What I just said probably doesn't make sense to you, right? Listen to what I just said carefully. You can have it all, but the only possible route to that is to understand that you can't have it all. Wait, what? Ola, that's an oxymoron. What are you talking about? Are you whining Jesus? I know, but this is life. That's the whole point of this point. priority awareness. Sometimes you have to make one decision before the other. Sometimes you have to pick one ahead of the other without thinking that one is less than the other. It's just one is more of the optimal route that will create the best result for you. When a person is aware of this, if they seem to be out, because you can't know upfront, that's the open of trust and faith, right? But if they seem, from your reflection on your experience with them, if they seem like they're priority aware, right? Yes, that is a green flag. And especially if they're able to prioritize self-care, right? If they take care of themselves, remember, priority, like it seems like, no, you should just look out for the other person first. Always. Selflessness. Well, sometimes the tough decision, depending on where you're coming from, right? So if they're able to prioritize in general, overall, if they understand this, this is a green flag. Okay. Now, obviously, because of that, they can take care of themselves physically. They can take care of themselves emotionally. They seem to have a well emotional balance. They exude emotional well-being, right? That person will contribute positively to any kind of relationship you have with them. That is a green flag. Okay, that is a green flag right there that you should be aware of. You should pay attention to. Okay. All right, the next one we have here in terms of green flags is social awareness. Okay. You know, my father, when he came on here, when he came on Man of Prestige, he was like a person that knows their left from their right hand side. It seems so simple, like most people know their left hand side and their right hand side, but that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about, listen, a person that's socially aware, a person that understands that other people are always involved, the person that understands that you can't claim to know God or like God or love God or trust God without loving people. That's an oxymoron. That's a dead end, right? A person that's socially aware, okay? A person that has social intelligence. We talk about that here all the time. A person that's not socially awkward. A person that's aware that other people look at them a certain way, and that can be different from what they see of themselves when they look in the mirror. That level of awareness where it doesn't cross over into low self-esteem or insecurities, where they actually understand that this is actually a powerful thing, particularly because you are aware. Very, very important, right? So being perceptive, okay? Person that understand, being perceptive, like perceptions, right? Being perceptive and considerate in social interactions and gatherings. So if they're in public or amongst a gathering of people, they understand that, first of all, that's a blessing, but there's a big deal of a lot of things going on subconsciously at the same time. Just being aware like that and understand that it's, you know, so the way they talk, it shows in how they talk. They're not just potty mouth, right? Even if they have a little potty mouth, they are aware of the effect of it on the, like, I'm not talking about a person that doesn't curse. No, that's not what I'm talking about. If that's your standard, that's your standard. But that's not what I'm talking about. A person that's just aware of their social environment. Okay? That person, if the person seems like they are aware of that, they carry themselves a certain way, they pay attention, they're not necessarily detail oriented, okay? Because your idea of detail oriented may be subjective, right? But they just seems like they're very aware of their surrounding, right? It doesn't mean they're perfect either, because in fact the whole idea of being socially aware is that people are not perfect, right? But they can have a perception of you, even though that may be far from your reality. A person who is aware of all of this in the way they have a conversation, in the kind of experience you've had with them, that is a green flag, my friend. That is a green flag that should make you more interested. Doesn't mean they're not going to be your wife or your husband, but it's okay to make that oh, interesting. I want to get to know this person even a little bit more. All right. The seventh green flag here. Green flag. Oh, let's see. Let's hope that okay. Number 7. Spiritual openness. Spiritual openness doesn't mean they stand for what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't mean that this. It doesn't mean that they don't stand for anything. Okay, they should stand for something. Okay, but they're also understand that they can't control other human beings spiritually. Okay, so let me share this with you really quickly. This person is aware that you and them, if you're going to have a romantic future, that you guys need to align spiritually. That's just a fact of life. Okay, because if you don't, it will create friction. All right. So let's say for some reason some things are not aligning because nobody were raised the same. Like there's no two people are raised the same way when it comes to spiritual anything, right? Some people pray more in their house, and the other people pray about 5 times a day in the same religion, right? And some people only pray once, right? That can still create friction, but just in general, it's more important to the openness here is more important than the unequally yoked aspect of things. Of course, you should be equally yoked, right? But there's multiple variables involved in that, right? It could mean age, maturity, race, culture, religion. It could be all those things are involved when it comes to being unequally yoked. What I'm talking about in particular is a person who seems to be interested in other people's perception of what spirituality is. Okay, that is actually more spiritual than the person who is close-minded. Okay, that's actually more connected to the nature of God and love, right? True love, real love, than closed-minded. Closed-minded people will have trouble in general in life. They will struggle in life. That's just why, because we're social beings and we're human beings and we're all interconnected. We're spiritual beings at the same time. So when a person is close-minded, especially when it comes to spirituality, they will struggle. And if you engage them in a romantic way, you will struggle with them because you become one. And I believe truly that you do become one. Okay, so when the person when they're open, they have respect for diverse beliefs or layers of beliefs, right? And they're open-minded. They have an open-minded approach to spirituality, and that makes them even more connected to the idea or ideology of true love, right? It makes them even closer to the ideal version of what we consider to be true love. It makes things a lot more easier. That if the person is like that, that is a green flag. That's a green flag you should pay attention to. All right, the next one here is emotional connection. Okay, emotional connection, that's number 8. A person that's able to establish a healthy emotional bond, right? They will support and uplift you and your relationship. Okay, when there's a disconnect at an emotional level, all bets are off. You don't, like, your expectations should be well managed around this. Okay, manage your expectations properly around this. If there's a disconnect, that's a disconnect. Don't force it. Don't force it, right? If you're sitting down across the table with a person on a date, somehow you were connected on social media, you thought you saw it, but when you got there, you're like, yeah, you need to charge that to the game. Okay, it doesn't mean that's the end of it forever. It might just be that day. It could be anything else. It doesn't mean you're making the right decision. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter if you're making the right or wrong decision. Bottom line is that there is a disconnect, and that might haunt you for the rest of your life if you don't engage it in that direction. Okay, but when the person is emotionally connected to you, you feel emotional connection to them, that's a green flag. By the way, green flag does not mean you're going to marry them, just so you know. Okay, it just means, oh, interesting. All of the green flags, each individual of the green flags means interesting. I would like to get to know more. I'm open to the next date. I'm open to a conversation tonight after we get back to our different homes, right? I'm open to engaging even further, right? That's what green flags mean. It means you can move forward. Okay, some people might even say, oh, yellow flag, because we live in UK, there's a yellow that comes on before the next green. No, well, where I am, okay, the green just shows up. It means you can move forward. It means it's safe to move forward. That's what it means. Okay, all right. And why am I sharing all of this green with you? We'll talk more about that in a second. But again, this is a green flag if you feel emotionally connected to a person. It does not mean you're ready to sleep with them. It does not mean you're ready to marry them. It just means you can move forward to get to know them a little bit more. Okay? That's what it means. Let me make sure nothing is running in the background here. Okay. All right, good. Just want to make sure that nothing is running in the background because my connection seems slow. Hopefully the recording are safe. All right, good. So the next one here, let me see. Just hold on one second. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure that nobody's running any kind of live streams right now. All right, so number 9 is engaging. If there's engagement, just like in any other type of algorithms out there, if it's engaging, it's a green flag. Okay, it's a green flag. There's a connection. It's very similar to the last one we just covered, emotional connection. If conversations are engaging, if you can't stop thinking about them, right? It's a green flag. Remember, green flag does not mean that you're ready to take it all the way to the bank. It just means you can open, all right? But particularly in this situation, I want you to focus more on engaging communication, engaging interaction with this person, okay? If this person seems to be an active listener, okay? If this person seems to make you feel so safe, you're telling all of your life history. Like you might start to question, am I talking too much, right? If you're asking yourself, am I talking too much? I'm sharing way too much of my life with this person that I don't even know, right? Yes, that is a green flag, okay? That's a green flag, okay? If it feels like you're having a meaningful conversation with this person, you might even consider it intellectual conversation, intelligent conversation with this person, right? If you feel that way about them, that's what I consider engaging communication, engaging interaction with this person. If this person like after studying all of the red flags out there, if this person tempts you, you have an urge to get on the phone and be texting them, you just, it's because you feel comfortable, it's because you feel safe enough to be doing that. That's a green flag, okay? There are many people, many school of thought out there that will basically call that something else, but it's not, okay? In fact, you have the rest of your life ahead of yourself. Remember, you're planning to do life with this person, right? So if you're planning to do life with this person, why would you want anything short of an engaging communication, meaningful conversations, and engaging interaction? Why would you want anything short of that, right? Why would you want to settle for anything less than that, right? It doesn't make sense, right? But go pay attention to majority of the messages you've been listening to out there from gurus and, you know, and the people that have helped mislead a lot of the young people today. They might call this a red flag. It's not a red flag, it's a green flag. It's a green flag that you should pay attention to. If it's engaging, it's because you feel safe. Okay, you feel safe, you feel secure, and you feel validated, you feel significant, you feel good being in this person's presence. That's not something you should shy away from. That's something that should open you up for more engagement. Every algorithms out there, digital and real life and human interaction, works the same way. You engage it, it's green flag to move forward. Why would you want to do anything else? That would mean you're trying to swim against the trend. And again, when you swim against the trend, you will drown. And a lot of people are drowning in this world of dating cesspool right now because they're kicking against nature. They're kicking because they're projecting all of the worst case scenario on themselves. So even when they see a green flag, they don't recognize it anymore. This is a green flag when you do engage or encounter this kind of situation ever. This is a green flag. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. 10th green flag that I want you to pay attention to. Okay. Before we got one more, and then we jump into the one non-negotiable red flag that you should avoid. The 10th green flag is respect. Okay, you need a person who has a holistic sense of respect about themselves. Okay, first respect themselves. Okay, if you feel like a person does not even respect themselves, either it comes in the form of low self-esteem, or it comes in the form of they're just rowdy and disrespectful and rude, and they call it, I'm just blunt. Right? Or they have fancy ways of justifying the BS, right? That kind of person is opposite what I'm describing here. A person who carries himself with respect, right, will obviously respect other people. Okay. In fact, it's a reflection. It's a reflective thing. It's like a mirror, right? So how they respect themselves is how they respect others. If you feel like this person, if when you remember this person, you remember respect, that's a green flag. Okay, a person who is able to treat everyone around them, not just you because you're on a date with them and they're fascinated by you right now. I'm talking about everyone around, either the waiters, the valet guy. There's just a way that they exude respect. They're giving it so much because they have it for themselves. Okay, they have adequate amount of respect for self, so they're giving so much of it out, and it's not stuff that you're reading in words. It's just a vibe. You can just feel it, right? So they treat everyone with respect, regardless of where you are in the world, regardless of what aspect of this world, what color they are, or anything like that. So the opposite of this sometimes is people that they might pick on environmental issues. I call them environmental: rain, sunshine, social media. They pick on those things to be disrespectful. No, I'm talking about a person who, regardless of all of this reality, these are real things that happen in life. We call it the environment. In spite of all of these negative things around us, this person they have a sense of respect. When you remember them after you got back home, you just remember respect. There's no checklist for this right now. I just give you a checklist, I know, but there's no real life checklist there. But you just like, when I thought about that person, man or woman, it doesn't matter who they are, I just think of respect. That is a green flag. That is a flag, a sign to move forward, engage more, get to know them more. Okay, because if you're already sensing that where you are right now, just imagine into the future, right? You might be like, what if they are pretending? Hands off. Okay, hands off. Because if they were, you wouldn't be thinking of this person as respect. So I'm not talking about that person now. I'm talking about a person, when you remember them, all you remember, you just like respect. It just makes sense, right? In terms of respect, with respect to respect, that is a green flag. Okay, I know I'm stressing it because this is a big deal. Okay, this is a big deal because both men and women will ask for respect. Now, in other contexts, there's a different conversation around respect that we can have later on. But I'm just saying, just right now, you just feel a sense of respect. Not particularly that they respect you, they seem to carry themselves with respect. That is a green flag. All right. The last but not the least green flag here is something that many of you probably have been studying gurus that will have you tone this down, okay? Or have you, or try to shame you into valuing this. I do want you to understand that fun is a big part of this. We're talking about the rest of your life here, okay? If a person seems fun, that is a green flag, okay? Everything else being equal, if they seem fun, that they just like to have fun, that life is not, it's not that deep, like Jesus Christ, can we have some fun, right? That is a green flag. But what else are we talking about when they talk about fun here, right? A person that enjoy shared social experiences, okay? They might even be an introvert, but they are aware enough to know that this is a big part of the human experience, and they're willing to engage even if it's not their favorite thing to do, right? Especially when they're getting to know you, right? A person that enjoys a shared social experience of some sort, something. They have to like something. They might not like a gathering of 2 million people watching Burna Boy or Wizkid, but they don't mind a little social gathering where they get to know other people, right? That right there, that person, that's more than enough fun. If a person is like that and you don't feel the opposite of that, that is a green flag, okay? A person that doesn't mind having fun together while being considerate of others. So having fun together, considerate of others, they're not looking at they're not saying, no, I just, like a Debbie Downer, right? A Debbie Downer, a person who is not a Debbie Downer is a green flag. Okay, a person who is not talking down the things you're talking about. There's some people, even when they talk, right, you could just tell that maybe not necessarily intentional, like maybe it's coming from a weak place. You could just tell that they're not that person. Okay, but I don't want you to worry too much about them. I'm talking about how you feel around. Does it feel like fun when you remember them? Just like I said about respect, when you remember that, do you remember fun? If you remember fun when you remember them, that is a green flag. That's something that you should pay a little bit extra attention to. All right, and that's something you should probably get to know. That's someone you should get to know a little bit more, because that is a green flag. Okay, these are the green flags right here. Okay, but today I wanted to share one red flag with you. Okay, now why did I put the red flag till the end? Okay, because it will help you understand even better. It will help you create a brand new type of experience altogether. Okay, the truth is that we live in a generation where people are aware, right, of more, not just aware. Okay, they are aware of more of worst case scenarios. They are aware of painful experiences. They're more aware. In fact, they connect with other people's painful experience more so than they connect with their good experiences, right? In fact, when they see people with good experience, I'm talking about in general now, right? When they see people's good experience, they tend to, when they see people's good experience, it's boring. Okay, it's boring. We live in that generation right now, and it's boring with respect to short term, right? Long term, eventually, it's going to drain. It's going to be draining. That it's going to feel draining, right? Because negative experience. Negative experience can feel good because you feel like you're educating yourself in real time. Like, oh yeah, you feel like you're protecting yourself in real time, right? You're learning all the things not to do, right? But ultimately, you shooting yourself on the legs because you're going to feel drained after a while. Because where's the fun, right? Where's good experiences? Ultimately, all of us, when we go back to our house, we like to relax, flip through the channels, swipe through, and we like to, right? But when you're with a person and you can't have a good experience, you're afraid of coming back home. When you come back home, you sit in the parking lot for a minute because, ouch, I'm about to go inside the house again, right? These are the reality of life. Eventually, you want to be in a position where you can't wait to go inside. You can't wait to see their glowing eyes as you're coming inside in the house, right? Either man or woman, your husband or your wife. You want to be in a position where you're coming inside the house and you can't wait to see each other, to gist back and forth, talk about the experience from work, on site, on the travel, share all the different gist with them. You can't wait to share, right? That's ideally what we're all looking for long term. But what we find now is that people are engaged in stuff that they find, I'm being careful with using the word entertainment, but entertaining in the short term, but draining in the long term, right? And these are what they call red flag, or the worst case scenario, right? That's the world that we live in. And I want you to try to disengage. It's very difficult because all of us, we're kind of like that, right? Because of the very nature of wanting to protect ourselves. Some people might even justify and say, I'm one of those people. So shout out to one young lady. She was like, I'm one of those people. I don't have to have the experience. I can learn from other people's experience. What is she talking about? She's talking about other people's negative experiences. She's not for the most part, she's not talking about their good experience. When she says she's learning, she's soaking in, she's eating up other people's worst case scenario, right? And she's listing out all of these red flags, right? She's listing them out, and then she's projecting it onto her future, right? Even though there's probably, before that moment, there was very little chance she would experience the same bad experiences, right? But now that she's soaking it in and she's eating it up, she's increased the chances that she will basically attract what she fears the most, because fear is a motivator as much as it's a powerful energy that can consume us. Okay, so when we talk about so many multitudes of red flags out there, majority of people are just trying to protect themselves, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, you know. But we find that it's helping more and more people shoot themselves on the legs, because again, you will attract what you fear the most. So what do you do now? Well, you can't unlearn what you already learned. Only thing you can do is there's only so much space in your memory, in your brain, in your experiences. So you want to replace a lot of that with all of the green flags we've talked about. Okay, that's why I said earlier you want to watch this video 3 or 4 times, because every time you watch it, you're going to pick up something else different. You're going to reflect on some of your most recent experiences, and you're going to find out like, oh yeah, because I was studying all of these different red flags, it takes over your brain, it takes over your experience, because you're a human being. And majority of the experience, the movies, the 2,000 movies you create in your head, are all inside of your head. They're not necessarily your reality, but they take over. They're taking over your experiences. They're taking over what's experience? Time. Your time here, your life. That's why I keep saying time is not your mate. All right. So the one non-negotiable red flag, the non-negotiable is a person. It's a whole person who fails to study or recognize the significance of these green flags I just showed you. Okay, they are disengaged from it. They don't have energy left for studying the green flags, because they are spending a lot of time on the multitudes of red flags that has been shown to them by gurus. That one red flag indicates a lack of self-awareness. Okay, the one red flag is a person, okay, that hasn't taken the time to learn all of the 11 green flags. Okay, it indicates a lack of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, right? Because if they were emotionally intelligent, they will know that what you engage emotionally becomes your reality as an individual. A person that lacks empathy, their ability to empathize decreases because what they're doing, they're for the most part trying to protect themselves, because the world seems like a war zone. The world of dating, relationship, and marriage seems like a war zone to them, because they study so many red flags, right? So this person who is studying all these red flags is the red flag. I want you to pay attention to what I'm talking about. Okay? That's the one non-negotiable red flag. When they show up to a date, you can tell that they're there to interview you. Right? That is a red flag of a person. That's the one because listen, they're going to create what they fear the most. Right? Just because you're a nice person, it does not matter. It's not relevant. Okay? Okay, so they lack self-awareness, emotional intelligence, empathy, which can lead to an unfulfilling and potentially toxic relationship. Okay, remember, this is all an experience, emotionally based experiences, right? When we encounter someone who seems to dismiss and disregard the study of these green flags, all 11 I've just shown you, right? It's essential to proceed with caution. So what is the number one non-negotiable red flag when it comes to choosing a romantic partner? What is that one non-negotiable red flag? It's someone who has never taken the time to assess or access any of the green flags listed above, okay, that I've just discussed recently in the last 50 minutes, okay? If someone does not have or has lost the patience or will, like when you're studying, right, you lose patience, you lose the will. A person that does not have some level of attraction to know a potential romantic partner on a deep level. Like, how can you're not going to have the capabilities of getting to know a person at a deep level if what you're looking for are the red flags, right? They are basically a walking and breathing red flag. No one will be good enough for them, because all they can see is red, because that's all they are actively looking for. Okay, all they can see is red flags. So if you're looking for a romantic partner, make sure to look for someone who vibes as a walking and breathing green flag to you. Okay? Vibes. Don't go there and be doing checklists either. Have a good experience. Go there and have a good time. When you feel these things, the green flags will feel like green flags. You're feeling comfortable. When you've overly consumed red flags, you're not gonna have a good time. Okay? And if you find someone who does, then if you find somebody who does exude all of these green flags that you might want to go back and take notes. Okay? If you find somebody who exude those things, then you found someone special worth getting to know more. You shouldn't be looking for red flags. I'm fantasizing by using the word should. You probably have been looking for red flags already. But again, you want to, the way you're not just going to say, I stopped today. What you're going to do is start studying those green flags, and you want them to take over your brain. And then eventually you start looking for the green flags, and then that means you're having a good time. You're having a good time in that experience. If you focused 80% of all your energy on self-improvement, okay? Self-improvement, real and worthy red flags or deal breakers will naturally repel you, and they won't want to be around you. These people that are called red flags, or you might have called them the deal breakers, right? Or they just, you won't notice them. Is that a good thing? Yes, actually, okay? Because the forces of nature will force them not to be around you, okay? And if that's all you're looking for, you will find them, okay? Because again, remember, it's all subjective at the end of the day, okay? It's all subjective. Law of attraction is really what we're talking about today. Law of attraction. Okay. Law of attraction teaches us that like attracts like. If you focus on green flags, you will see more green flags, and they will drown out any type of red flags. It's an experience. It just happens. You're leveraging the forces of nature, the forces of the universe. You're leveraging the opportunities that you've already been presented with, the cards you're being dealt with. You're leveraging them to work in your favor. How do you do that? All 80% of your energy should be going into your self-improvement, not studying red flags. Okay? Not studying red flags. And that's what most of you out there are doing right now. Red flags, red flag. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And you do it so subconsciously you don't realize it. So now this is an exercise for you. Go back, watch this video again, take note of all the, expound on it. Don't just see the word fun and say, oh yeah, this is nothing. Well, you're right, because in that case you'll be right, because I can't argue with you. Your experience, but basically you are proving what I just said. Okay.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, you can't help it. All you can see is red flags. Okay, you can't help it because it's very subconscious in nature. All right, so the red flag is a person who has not studied the green flags. If you're a person who disengages from idea of green flags, subconsciously, consciously, or not, or vice versa, or anyway, if you're a person that tends not to be attracted to looking for green flags, you are a red flag. If a person seems that way, they come on interview as opposed to coming on a date to get to know you, that is a red flag. You should just be like, I'll pay the bills, let's keep it moving. All right, that's all I have for you today. Okay, do me a favor, let me know what you think about this class. Should I expand on it? There's more. I know there's more to it. Okay, and I think we're gonna do that. Okay, but yeah, as you're heading out, do me a favor, hit the like, share, and subscribe to the platform. This is a masterclass. Share with somebody that will love this. Okay, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough. with a nana.